Hi, kids. How you is? How you was? This episode of the DiPaolo podcast brought to you by oandapodcast. Let me ask you a question. Are you getting enough? I bet you'd love more, right? Who wouldn't? Well, oandapodcast wants to give you more with 10 free gifts. First, you'll get a sexy surprise for her. Secondly, a specially selected toy for him. And third, a little something we know you'll both enjoy. Plus, you'll get 6 full-length adult movies on DVD. And number 10, this is the big one, folks, free shipping on your entire order. That's right, free shipping. So what do you have to do to get these 10 free gifts? It's not hard. Neither are you. Just go to oandapodcast and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy, sexy piece of lingerie, or anything you desire. Maybe a celery stick. Just enter the offer code NICK at checkout, and you'll get all 10 free gifts. Go check out oandapodcast today, select one item, and get 10 free gifts, including free shipping when you enter offer code NICK. That's NICK at oandapodcast. How are you, kids? What's going on? Lots going on. Is the Pope finally gone? So I can get back to my regular TV schedule? You know, trying to watch Judge Judy reruns, and I got him going through Central Park, waving to people who were standing there for like 14 hours. I might do that for Jagger, Bono, but I don't know. And I was brought up Roman Catholic, but I think we've discussed that. I kind of bailed on that in like 7th grade. I told you the day I bailed on church. My mother, we got in a big fight because me and my brother didn't want to go to church, and then she took the wooden spoon, and I put my forearm up, and it broke over my forearm. You know, I didn't even blink. And then she tried to throw a backhander, and I ducked, and her hand turned purple immediately. I remember that like it was yesterday. And that was it. After that, she didn't even try to get us out of bed on Sunday or whatever. That was it. Breaking her best spoons over her son's arms and heads, and that was it. No more church for me. That's all I had to do was stand up to her. But what the hell's going on? I was at Governor's this weekend. One of my favorite haunts. Guy named James is one of the owners. I've talked about this guy on the show before. He's the guy who he has another club called The Brokerage, and I was standing out front one night, and there was a bird's nest up in the awning. His son pointed it out. He said, "Hey, Dad, there's a bird's nest up there." And he said, "Get the bleach." Like an old school Italian. He's got the $2,000 suit on. He's standing in front of his comedy club. Just love him. Guy is as funny as anybody ever met. And had a great time at Governor's. Thank you for coming out, folks. Appreciate it. And again, can I just say this? When you do come out to see me, shut off the fucking phones. This goes out to girls, because I think I've told 2 guys in the last 2 years to shut off their phone during the show, maybe 2,500 girls, and that's no exaggeration. Not slanting the numbers by any means, just saying. If girls are somewhere where they can't talk out loud, then the default step is what? Texting. And they just can't fucking... Then you tell them to shut off the phone, they just look at you and giggle like, I'm 22 and I wouldn't fuck you on my last day on Earth, so you can't tell me to do anything. You know, and... whatever, just shut them off, because we don't know. We look out there, we see your face lit up. Number one, it's rude. Number two, especially if you get an ugly face. Number two, we don't know what you're doing. Not that it matters, because they're supposed to be shut off anyways if you had an ounce of fucking manners. But we don't know. You might be recording the show, which people do. Guy did it to me in Connecticut last year. Come home and a clip of one of my bits is on YouTube, and then the material's burnt. So that's why we get upset. So, you know, it doesn't make us assholes. It makes you assholes for having your phone on and then instead of just shutting it off, coming up with some excuse. But what are you going to do? It's the world we live in. I know what I'm going to do. We're fucking retire. Sell crystal meth to young children in the Long Island, Shirley area. Anyways, Boehner resigned. I'm not going to get into heavy details about that, but if you're a real conservative, I know you're happy about it. I mean, That and his incessant crying is really disturbing, isn't it? You see him standing behind the Pope, bawling his eyes out. Guy would make a hell of an actor. But, yeah, he stepped down. He's stepping down at the end of October. He had planned on doing it earlier than when Eric Cantor lost. That changed his plan, so he stayed on. Anyways, he's stepping down at the end of October, and I think it's a good... Look, the people, the hardcore conservatives in the Republican Party, they're happy because it just seems like that him and McConnell don't put up a fight. Anytime Obama wants to pass something that's very, goes against everything that the establishment stands for, and, Obama goes, well, if you guys, I'll just veto it. And Boehner and McConnell will just, what they do is just, okay, we won't even put up a fight. He's going to veto it anyway. But people on the right want you to put up a fight and make it look like you're fucking trying on their behalf, And if you're on the right side of the argument and the president vetoes something, then he looks like a dick. And let's stop with the shutting down the government thing, okay? That's a big... Shutting down the government is no big deal. People start to, it'll make the Republicans look bad and shit. That's such horse shit. They leave the essential jobs in the government stay open, okay? So I read in the paper somewhere the government has been shut down over 20 times since, what was it, 1986 or something like that? Okay? And did anybody even notice? So what the fuck? Anyways, when Boehner announced that, there were a couple of clips of like conservative groups. Marco Rubio was speaking to some conservatives when Boehner made the announcement, and the place broke out into, real applause. I don't know. Look, I don't get that deep into it, folks. He's been in there a while, and, the Republicans did take back the House and the Senate, have, like, huge majorities now, so it wasn't all bad. But I agree with the real right-wingers that this fucker doesn't put up a fight. McConnell's the one who's got to go, the guy with no chin. Excuse me. Get them both out of there. And then replace him with somebody real right-wing. Like I said, there's nobody right-wing out there far enough right for me. After the 7 years of this guy in office, I want somebody to the right of, somebody far, far right, just to balance it all out. But Boehner is stepping down at the end of October. And that's all you know. But David, he used to go on Meet the Press, and David Gregory would go, no, David, that's not true. What he said was, he's a hard-drinking guy, and, he's an impressive guy. How he came up. His parents owned a bar in Ohio or whatever. Or wherever. And, you never hear about that. You only hear about Obama's upbringing and how far he's come. I'm sure. Tremendous resistance. A biracial student at Harvard. I'm sure he had to fucking fight to have his voice heard, huh? Get out of my ass. But that was the big political news, I guess. And like I said, until McConnell gets out of there, then we can really fucking celebrate. That being said, yeah. There was another funny clip. Did you see Carly Fiorina, who I like? And she was on one of the Sunday morning shows. Chuck Todd, Meet the Press. It's so funny how they get their panties in a... Was it Chuck Todd or was it... I can't keep my two shows straight because they're both such a fucking farce on Sunday morning this week with Martha fucking Raddatz. When's she going to return? That horrible fucking voice of hers. But Carly Fiorina was on with Chuck Todd on Meet the Press. And it's just so funny. Chuck Todd and the other and the other show when Martha Raddatz or Stephanopoulos is hosting, they pick up their intensity when they're questioning somebody on the right. They can't even fucking hide it. It's so funny. And Martha Raddatz or whatever let's call her Martha Radish. She's just a fucking she can't even hide. She's not even bright enough to hide it. Just fucking arguing at the top of her lungs. So, Fiorina was giving a speech. I don't know when it was, yesterday or today or whatever. I just saw the clip, but the curtain fell down behind her. It was falling. People panicked. It sounded like when the Hindenburg crashed. People are, oh, the humanity. It was fucking hilarious. That's got to be embarrassing, you know? You're out there touting about, you know, how efficient you were running a huge company like Hewlett-Packard and whatever, even though she doesn't set up the curtain. But I'm just saying, if I'm her after that, I'm scolding whoever fucking set it up. That just doesn't look good. Imagine if Obama, when he was giving that speech, when he first got elected, remember, with the big columns behind him, if those things fucking tipped over? Oh, it would have been so perfect. So that's the big political stuff, I guess. Trump, his lead has been cut. He's in a virtual tie with Dr. Ben Carson in some polls. So apparently Ben Carson's so-called anti-Muslim stance really hurt him, huh? Which I love. It just proves that people have had enough of this silly, politically correct horseshit. He had to defend himself again. That's he was on with Martha fucking Radish. This is exactly what you said, Dr. Carson. You said I would not advocate putting a Muslim in the White House. Those are your exact words. And I love Ben Carson. He goes, well, why don't you read the paragraph before that? He goes, I notice you guys don't do that very often. Oh, and did she get her fucking soiled giant old lady bloomers in a bunch? Fucking radish head. But you didn't say that, Dr. Carson. What you said was... Exactly. Shut up.
Thank you.
You fucking wrinkled hoe. Anyways, that's about it politically. Trump. So Carson and Trump. Yeah, that's the big news too. That they're like in a dead heat. So Trump lost a little ground, and I expect this. Again, I don't know that he's going to be the nominee, but he's good for the process. That's all I'm saying. Even if it all ended for him tomorrow, I think it's great. He's keeping these other people, these other career politicians. They just look so, don't they just look so stagnant and phony and plastic? And it's just, they're trying to step up their game. Jeb Bush, I think he's in deep shit. He's like going the other way in the polls. Of course, he's got $1 trillion to spend. Here's my thing. I think I might have said it on the last show. Rubio and Fiorina is my ticket if you really want to clinch this thing. I know it's early in the game, but Rubio, this guy, he's a young guy. He's in his 40s. Dead serious. He eats this shit up. He's really bright, and you got the Hispanic background, and you throw Carly Fiorina in there. Now you got the chicks covered. I mean, all we need is a Puerto Rican midget in a wheelchair, and we will win this thing in a landslide, you motherless, titless wonders. Are you with me? All right, I will.
Thank you.
Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Is that it politically? That's all I can think of, I guess. I don't know. You got Hillary lying on national TV still. Like I said, if she had a penis, she would be kicked out of the race by now. But we have such a hard-on for identity politics in this country, and we have the young black fella as the president. Now we have to get a chick in there, so they're going to do their best. But they keep finding more shit with their emails, and they were classified. She was on with her new persona. Oh, God. Just as plastic as a fucking Lego set. That stupid smile and that... She did that cackly laugh again, that hyena laugh that she does. It's like... I almost feel bad for her. She's so uncomfortable. I'd say in her own skin, but she doesn't know what her own skin is. That's what makes her so uncomfortable. She's been a chameleon for the last 40 years in politics. She doesn't know who the fuck she is. It's like when you take a little kid at a birthday party and you blindfold them and spin them around, and then you make them lean over a broomstick, and you know that fucking trick? That's what she's like. She has no idea who she is. She was on the morning shows, and I just can't. Whole different tone when they're talking to her. It's so funny. It really is. What the hell else? Let's stick with this is comes out of the category of politics, I guess, but it's just again the loony fucking left. Do you hear about this chick Sarah Levy? Oh, yeah. She's an artist, and she used her menstrual blood and a tampon to paint a nice portrait of Donald Trump in protest of candidates' outrageous remarks. Remember? She's still pissed about the Megyn Kelly thing. This story broke a couple weeks ago, but still cracks me up. What colleges are churning out? This fucking left-wing liberal fucking psychopaths. What's the connection with Jewish girls? And I'm going out on a limb. Her name is Sarah Levy. What's the connection with Jewish girls and feminists? They seem to always be at the forefront of the feminist movement. I don't know what that is. If somebody can explain it to me. Yeah, I know they're very smart and whatnot, but real ball busters, aren't they? Portland, Oregon. She's going to auction off this painting that she did with her own period blood. I call it a period piece. Don't you? Sure you do. And she's going to auction that off to raise money for, like, immigrants' rights organizations. Imagine? This broad looks like she's in her 20s, okay? Can you imagine? She wakes up with all the weight of the world on her shoulders with sexism and racism and misogyny. Do you ever have a good day, Sarah? When's the last time you fucking blew some guy and just took a nice nap? Huh? Have you ever had a good day? Just a victim. Just every guy you look at sexist. And here's a song that I'm going to dedicate this song to you. And all the feminists out there who are so confused. Yeah, she did that. She painted it. It's actually pretty good, too. If you see the artwork, go online. You know, if you could just get it out of your mind that she did it with her period blood. That might keep you from hanging it in your living room. She collected her blood in a diva cup. By the way, she collected her blood in something called a diva cup and painted the painting with a tampon. I wonder if she did it like that. Remember that guy? What was his name? Remember the guy with the afro? Oh, I forget. He was like a former Vietnam vet. You know the guy I'm talking about. He had that painting show on PBS. And I wonder if she did it like that. Yeah. And you can put a maple tree here and put a mountain here, because in your world, this is your world, and you can put a sexist asshole on top of the mountain, and over here you can put a racist bigot hiding in his outhouse in Oklahoma, and she actually looks like kind of like Anne Hathaway. She's kind of cute, but what girl in their 20s isn't? I'm guessing she's in her 20s. She couldn't become that much of a fucking bitch if she was in her teens, could she? Of course she could. But she collected it in a diva cup. Remind me to get my wife one of those. Get her a diva bowl. She was offended about, the whole Donald Trump, Megyn Kelly exchange. Remember when Donald said she had blood coming out of everywhere, her eyes, her ears, everywhere, and we know what he meant. And, which makes me love him even more for being that stupid. But you know what? She's got the weight of the world on her eyes. By the way, Trump was right about the Megyn Kelly thing, I think, because I think Megyn was having her period that night. And you're like, well, how do you know that, Nick? Well, I've been tracking her cycle for 3 years. I have a pie chart over my bed. Okay, it's getting a little creepy. Yeah, it's like watercolor, she said. Can you friggin' imagine? I can imagine. I'm going to... I guess I'll reveal this now. I've been saving up my feces. I'm going to do a finger painting of Hillary in about a month or so. Absolutely. You think it's a good idea? I've been saving it up, not in a diva cup. I've been using an ice cream bowl. I put Saran wrap over it. And I put it in the fridge. And I'd say a couple more trips to Chipotle, and I'll have enough to do Hillary's big, giant mouth. And I'm going to finger painting, and then I'm going to auction it off to raise money for Confederate flags, because I think we have a shortage in this country. That's what I'm going to put my money towards. And I hope it doesn't offend anybody out there, you know what I mean? But, props to Sarah Levy for just, how does she get like that? Huh? Imagine. That's a lot of blood, too, isn't it? I mean, and that is no joke. I'd hate to be a woman and have to go through that every month, but I remember when I was younger, I had sex with a girl who didn't tell me it was that time of the month. And Christ, I thought I was going to find a horse's head at the end of my bed. It was horrible. That was me, screaming into the night at Androscoggin Hall up in Maine. True story. Never forget that night. Mink ya. Thought I hit an artery. I like big tits. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Sarah Levy. What's up to Sarah?
You see him on the street. I like big tits. That's right.
That's right. What else is in the news, my friends? The Pope finally gone. I don't know, I'm starting to warm up to him. How can you like a guy? I mean, that's his mission, just to spread love. It's hard not to like him, unless it's a guy like Sting trying to do it through his music. But the Pope made some cracks. He told a joke. He was talking about we have to look out for something about children and loving. But then he made a mother-in-law joke, which got like a nice. I would have, if he was in the last comic standing, I think he would have been like a finalist. He kind of like the guy. I know, look, he doesn't know about capitalism and that shit because all he knows is Argentina capitalism, which is like crony capitalism, and that's how he thinks what we do over here. And there's a little bit of that, but not to the extent that he was exposed to it. So, yeah. And he should mind his business about climate change. You know? But it was funny. He was in they had him in Central Park for like an hour. I was expecting when he come out of there, I was expecting to see like graffiti all over the side of his hat and maybe one of the tires slashed on his Pope mobile. It is cool that he drives around a little Fiat, though. Gets good gas mileage. You know, at least he walks the walk. He's not like Leonardo DiCaprio, who flies around the globe preaching climate change as he's fucking putting more carbon emissions into the air than China on a fucking bad week. But the Pope, yeah.
St. Dominic always said, "O fili mi boni belly, Dominus vobiscum beni," selling all his dominoes.
Still cracks me up. But, yeah. But here's the thing about the Pope that was bugging me. The guy's 78 years old, right? They say he's up every morning at 4 a.m. to start his prayers, which is like my mother. My mother gets up at 5. She might as well be a fucking fisherman. Her whole life, my mother gets up at 5. Which doesn't bother me until I go home and stay there for a couple days. And I'm trying to sleep on the couch downstairs, and she's up and down the stairs. Like fucking, she just did a nice bag of crank. I don't know what she's doing at 5 a.m. She's 78, God bless her. But probably praying. But the Pope, back to the Pope, 78 years old, and this son of a gun, he's up at 4 a.m., and then they got him speaking at, some church in Harlem, and then he's in Central Park, and then he's doing a mass at Madison Square Garden. Meanwhile, I'm laying on the couch knowing I have to drive to Levittown, which is about 58 miles away, to do one show on Friday night. I did 2 Saturday, but I remember just going, I don't feel like doing this. Can you imagine? 25 years younger than the Pope, and this guy, I don't know if he's doing a little toot, you know? I mean, they got the wine back there. You don't know. And again, he's a Latin American. He's probably got a connection, some nice pure shit. I thought I saw him grinding his teeth when he was in Philly last night, but he's probably reading about the Eagles' offense. I don't know, but he looked fucking pissed. But the energy, seriously, man. I guess when you believe in what you're doing for a living and you have convictions and principles that, But that is pretty amazing to keep that schedule. It just amazes me. Didn't see him nodding off either. I don't get the Pope-mobile. I understand the old one, the old Pope-mobile, which, the guy was fully enclosed. He looked like the game Trouble. Remember, you push that plastic. Everybody's made that reference 1,000 times, I'm sure. But I'm just saying, this Pope-mobile shows a little more faith in his religion because both sides are open. If somebody wanted to take a shot, God forbid, you know what I mean? This guy's exposed, but he's like, they asked him about that. He says, what do I have to lose? I'm 78. It's a good point. What does he have to lose? I don't know, your life? I mean, you are doing God's work, right? Pope? Are you listening to me, Pope? But that's what amazes me, the energy. Yeah, and I kind of warmed up to him, You read all this stuff about him, but come on. And like I said, I was raised Roman Catholic, whatever that's worth, and bailed early into it. Not because of disbelief and all that. It was because it interfered a lot of time with the Red Sox and Bruins games, CCD class, catechism class. That was on Tuesday nights, and I told you the whole story about me pretending to go out the door with my books and then crawling under the space and watching the Bruins game through the bathroom window. Yeah, I don't think that one might get me when I think about it. If I end up in hell, that might be the first thing they bring up, At the gates, God's like, really? He's like, Bruins? Canadians in 77? For Christ's sake, the Bruins sucked and the Canadians were a powerhouse. That wasn't even a good rivalry at that point. And you crawl under the house to watch that shit instead of what I have to say to you, my son? My dad used to lay in bed and, on Sunday mornings and yell at us to get up to go to church. He's like, you don't want to go to hell, do you? And we used to go, well, how about you? What, you're not going to hell? He goes, I'm already in hell. I'm fucking married. Get out of here. Oh, come on, Dad. So the Pope, let's go to another religion. Our boy Muhammad. Remember Ahmed Muhammad that brought the clock/bomb to school? Huh? And that everybody was Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, book, and President Obama, everybody that just hailed this kid a genius because he built his own clock, and how dare the school officials prejudge him and think it was a bomb. That's just Islamophobia, another example. Well, it turns out after a little bit of fucking scrutiny that total fugazi, as they say, as Johnny Depp said. Total fugazi. Turns out, first of all, number one, he didn't even build it. He just took like the back off an alarm clock and put the guts into a pencil case holder or whatever it was in. Okay? And this has been refuted. People online, you can look it up. Electronics experts said that's all he did. And he left a cable hanging out of it to maybe look like a bomb. What he was doing, folks, what he was doing was fucking with us. You understand? That's how pervasive this politically correct left-leaning horseshit that people have been fucking brainwashed and are so quick to jump down other people's throats. And again, you know what I'm talking about, you lefties, not my fucking party. But just totally bullshit. He's just fucking with our heads. And he was put up to it by his father, who happens to play stunts like this all the time. His old man is like a, kind of a Islamic activist. And he's done other publicity stunts in the past. I guess he ran for president of Sudan without ever leaving the state of Texas. And do you remember the crazy preacher in Florida that was going to burn a Koran? Remember? Well, this guy, Ahmed's dad, declared himself the defense attorney in that case. So He's a fugazi. That's fake in Italian, if you're wondering. Yeah. Just total bullshit. Didn't even build the thing. Not that. I wonder if he's going to be uninvited to the White House now. Huh? Zuckerberg, you still going to hire him? Even though he's a phony little fuck? He's fucking with his family's fucking with our heads, trying to prove that we're, Islamophobic. Just like the guys, remember a few years ago on the plane? And I think I mentioned this last episode. There was I think it was Minneapolis. There was a flight. Anyways, there was like 4 or 5 Muslims guys. They started reading their prayers out loud and started switching seats right before the flight took off. And somebody got nervous and I forget who had the nerve to point out, again, this wasn't that long after 9/11, and they started switching their seat. Turns out they were just fucking with us. Just fucking. They just want to prove I was Islamophobic. And there's people on the fucking far left who go, oh, they're right, aren't they? No, they're not actually. That whole Islamophobe charge makes me fucking laugh. How many Muslims have been murdered because of Islamophobia? And, since 9/11? Huh? Can anybody bring up a figure? No, you can't. No, you can't. Because hardly any at all. I'll say it again. Least racist country on the face of the planet if you do your fucking homework. But didn't that piss you off? I love it. Bill Maher's been excoriating this kid, too, on his show. And the liberals that fucking defended this jerk with that knee-jerk reaction, that reflexive political correctness. Just a total phony. But here's the good news. Mr. Ahmed's kids are being pulled out of that school. They're going to be homeschooled. Oh, no. That's a real blow to the community, huh? Unbelievable. What were they not supposed to say? Something? Somebody brings something like that to school? It's just fucking... Yeah, he's been severely traumatized, they said, the next question for the me should be, okay, what are the symptoms of somebody? Give us some symptoms. How do you know he's severely traumatized? What, did he convert to Christianity? Judaism? How's he been traumatized? And this is what I said. I said it on stage at Governors. People are so afraid, especially libs, to prejudge somebody. Somehow that became the worst thing you can do on the planet, or at least in this country. It's worse than fucking a kid, is prejudging somebody. What if you did, though? What if you said, I think this cab driver might be up to no good, and you reported him? Oh, no, and you were wrong. The guy's feelings were hurt for, 5 minutes? Oh, no. How horrible. Yeah, Ahmed's parents have unenrolled their 3 children from Irving School District because of religious persecution and have decided to homeschool them. I bet you have. I bet you have. Once again. But it's a symptom. It just shows the climate we live in. People so quick to call people racist, sexist, or whatever. We all know where that comes from. Talk about it every week and we'll keep talking about it. I made a clock look. I made a bit of a clock out of it. But otherwise, I don't know. He just took like the back off an alarm clock and threw the guts into a pencil. He's not even smart. You're a bit of a fucking dope when you get right down to it. But the one thing about him, he likes big tits. Anyways, let's get to a story I know you're going to enjoy. It's a personal story, and you're going to get a kick out of this one, folks. Been waiting to tell it to you for almost a week now. Hope I can remember it, as I think I had suffered some damage to my frontal lobes. I just found another story on the floor here. Oh, it's a menstrual blood story. I think we touched on that. As you know, I've documented my sleep problems. They've been well documented here on the DiPaolo podcast. And I've tried everything, right? I mean, every time I mention it, people suggest stuff on Twitter, and somebody even handed me a note after the show. Was that? Where was I last week? Up in Boston, I think. A girl handed me a note. Didn't put a name or a number. That was disappointing, but I am married, so I just kid there. But suggested some medication. But anybody, like I said, everybody has a suggestion, and I've tried everything from melatonin. I've tried everything from melatonin to snorting baby powder. Baby powders are a crazy straw, and rubbing warm yogurt on my taint as I do a word scramble. But that made me a little groggy. Anyways, my wife and I know a fella, I won't mention his name, out in Los Angeles. When I lived out there in the mid-'90s, my wife worked for his company, and he has since moved on to a different company. And what he does, he has a line of cannabis products, actually a line of ice cream that is going great guns out there. People are loving it. And not only does he have ice cream, he has other products, brownies, and he provides edible cannabis products to dispensaries, so people with medical can get, medical marijuana is legal in California. Anyways, my wife had been talking to him on and off. What's that about? I don't know. No, over the phone last couple of weeks, and my wife is very close to his mom who had died probably a year ago or so. Anyways, he kept suggesting have Nick try, maybe some of my product if he can't sleep. And I'm like, I might do that, because I've had other comedians bring that up, obviously. And I kept putting it off, but finally I had some bad nights, and I'm like, yes, have him mail the shit or whatever. And what he did, he didn't send me his products, because right now, like I said, his thing is the ice cream thing. But he sent a couple of his competitors, I don't know why, a couple of his competitors' edibles that he was trying out, and that he actually said helps him sleep. Anyways, there was like 3 or 4 little products, and one of them was like this probably 1.5, 2-inch by 2-inch square, not a candy bar, but it looked like a candy bar, but it was some type of red gelatin. It was supposed to taste like cherry, candy or whatever, chewy, almost like a gumdrop type of whatever. And he said to my wife, well, it's medicinal. The doctors suggest when somebody's to take a quarter of this. And but then he called back and said, tell Nick, since Nick doesn't smoke pot, which I don't. Last time I smoked it, I was in the early 90s after an acting class. I told you guys this, I think. I smoked it with a few people from an acting class in New York City. I walked home to my apartment. On the way back to my apartment, I went to Chemical Bank. That was the bank at the time. And I went in there, and I was waiting in line. And this bank had, like a number at a deli. They had a digital clock. You'd be in line, your number would come up, and there's a bunch of windows. And when your number came up, you go to whatever window that's. Anyways, I'm like 5th in line, then 4th, then 3rd. And then I get up to the front of the line, and as soon as my number came up, this lady goes, I can help you here. I ran out of the bank. That's how I was fucking freaking out. Just that paranoid. A nice, relaxed buzz, weird. Anyways, and I know cannabis is a lot stronger now. We've heard it like 100 times stronger than then, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, and so Monday night, I'm like, I'm going to try it. So I take an eighth of it, and I get downstairs in my office, I'm watching TV, and like a typical rookie, every time I tell the story, people start laughing. And, we need a little music for the story, background music. But, a friend indeed. Yeah, I eat an eighth of it. I get downstairs. I'm laying on the couch, and all of a sudden, I don't feel anything. So like a rookie, I'm like, I don't feel nothing. I'm going to go upstairs and eat the other eighth, make it a quarter. And it turns out the guy told my wife, he should take an eighth and wait an hour or so, a little more before he... But I walked upstairs thinking it was an hour later. It was like 40 minutes later, and I said, I can't feel nothing. Give me another fuck. So I eat the other piece. Now I've eaten a quarter of it. I go back downstairs, and I'm watching my flat screen. After about, I'd say, 45 minutes, all of a sudden that flat screen, that 51-inch, looks like a 12-inch black and white TV to me. And the sound sounds kind of weird. Now I'm inside my own head. That's where anybody who's insecure about doing this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? And I start to get a little jittery. I'm trying to... And now it doesn't feel like my house, so I panic. And I go upstairs... And I was going to go up to the bedroom, which is on the 3rd floor, but I looked at the steps, and they might as well be steps to a castle. They just look so high and long. I'm like, fuck it, I'll go lay down in the guest bedroom in the dark. Yeah, great move. Could I have made any more rookie mistakes? Now I'm laying in the guest bedroom, and all I can see is the little digital red clock out of the corner of my eye. And within another 20 minutes, now I feel like I'm not even in my own house. I'm in somebody's basement in a faraway land. I'm in my fucking head. And I fucking start panicking a little bit. And I go, I gotta go upstairs. How am I gonna look at my wife? How am I gonna face her? So I go up the stairs, and I just fucking jump on the bed next to my wife, and she's like, what's up? Are you freaking out? I went, bingo! I'm fucking going crazy! I'm like, how long is this shit gonna last? I'm talking to her like she's fucking Keith Richards' counselor. The last time she had smoked it, she freaked out like in high school or whatever, but she's kind of giggling. But now I'm sitting there in the bedroom with my wife, and it doesn't feel like my bedroom. I had no emotional attachment to the bedroom, to her. She was just a woman, like, holding my hand. And it was just fucking weird. Really getting in my own head. And I'm holding on to her arm like a little kid lost at the fucking, looking for his mother at the mall. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I'm resting my hand on the bridge of my nose. You know how you do when you have a headache? You put your thumb and index finger on the bridge of your nose, like, and you push. I just had it resting there, but it felt like my hand kept sinking into my face. And then she puts on a Bob Newhart, an old Bob Newhart rerun. I don't know if she was fucking with my head. We have DVR, we have a whole bunch of old shit. We love the old show. So she puts on it. She said, I'll put on like a Newhart episode. Maybe you'll get you. And now, again, she feels like a stranger. It doesn't feel like my bedroom. I'm watching Newhart, which was an episode from the late 70s. Now I felt like I was living in the 70s. I was in that time period. I can't explain it. Anyways, I was just fucking freaking out. And when you ingest cannabis, orally, it's way stronger, apparently, which something I did know because I had a Rasta pasta experience I told you about episodes ago, but I forgot. And this is medicinal. Should they give this shit to people with bone cancer to take the to relieve the pain? And I would have rather had bone cancer, man. I was in my own head, freaking the fuck out. And then when you shut your eyes, I'm like, maybe if I sleep. And then you shut your eyes, and then I'm seeing all kinds of patterns. I mean, this shit was rocket fuel. For a fella who hadn't smoked a joint since 1992, or whatever it was. Probably wouldn't even affect... I let a few, I text Kurt Metzger and told him about it. And told him what happened to me, expecting a little sympathy, and at the end I asked him if he goes, of course I fucking want it. That's all And Ari Shafir, the guys who I knew would appreciate this story, and actually Joe Rogan too. Anyways, I don't want to give out the name of the company yet because I don't know. The fact that... But dudes and dudettes, I was freaking the fuck out like a little child inside my own head. Finally nodded off and woke up at 6 in the morning, and the windows were open a crack, and I could hear cars going by, and they still sounded a little weird. I was like, wow, like slow motion sound. And again, this is just fucking weed. This is what you guys fucking smoke to relax? Oh, my God. Holy shit, but what a rookie, huh? I don't feel anything. Give me another piece of that. Oh. And, yeah, I gave the rest away to a small orphanage. Holy Christ. I guess I won't never, if I don't know. Maybe I don't even know that I would dare try to smoke it. Apparently I can't handle it. Some people can't handle shit like that. And I'm one of them, apparently. But it was so funny looking at that TV, my flat screen, and all of a sudden it seemed like it was a mile away, and the sound sounded fucked up. I'm blaming it on Vizio. Turns out it's the fucking cannabis I had ingested. Yeah, so I don't know what to tell you. I admire you guys who can take that shit, then sit down and write jokes. I guess it would free up your mind. I guess you got to be. I wonder if I was surrounded by even the guy Alex who sent it said. He said, he said to my wife, "Good thing you were home, or he would have probably drove himself to the hospital." And you know what? I agree with that 1,000%. Although I don't know, I would have had the balls to leave the house. I didn't have the balls to go upstairs till after I laid in that bed in the dark and freaked out. What a rookie. What a rookie mistake. Maybe there's some shit that's not quite that strong that I can enjoy. Eventually I passed out, but I don't know. I probably passed out because I was scared to death. So I thought you'd enjoy that. What else do I have on the agenda? Filemi bone belle, Domino's for biscuit benecelli on his dominoes. Going on, that's a good song when you hide if I can get a few bites of a nice cannabis brownie in you. How about that horrible story out of Warren Hills, New Jersey High School? A kid named Evan Murray. I didn't even mean to play this song. It's kind of a coincidence, but it makes sense. Quarterback, 17 years old. Warren Hills High School in New Jersey. Yeah. Gets football game Friday night. Gets hit a couple times. Took a couple of hard hits, I guess, at the beginning of the game, and was wobbly, and then took himself out of the game, and felt like horrible or whatever. And I know you heard about it. He ends up dying after the game, which is just there's still speculation out there. They don't know, if it's a heart attack, but obviously thoughts go out to his family and friends, and just unbelievable. And again, people are going to, exploit this, the anti-football people. I went online just to read the comments. It's one thing the internet does. It exposes the fucking ignorance and the tendency to just, reflexively react with no common sense, and people on there. One woman, and this is not enough proof that they should make the sport of football illegal at high schools. That's one of the comments. It's like, oh my God. Of course, people took her on too with a stupid thing like that. And I know I had been preaching, my buddy Murph, who lives in Northern California, he's saying how youth football is drying up out there because people are afraid. But again, can you keep it in perspective? Okay? More kids die on skateboards every year, okay? So I don't want to hear it. It's a 1 in a zillion chance that something like this is going to happen. It's going to happen in any endeavor, that's a little bit risky. But here's one of the comments. I teach at high school at the Texas football Texas football school, and it's shocking how many students are injured throughout the year due to sports, injuries, and concussions. Really? Is it worth a game? Question mark. This poor kid has been fed a lie for his entire life. First of all, you don't fucking know that maybe he'll make it to the NFL. But is it worth this? America needs to re-examine its priorities. First of all, I doubt that this guy's a football coach. Sounds like a fat soccer mom. The NCAA is a billion-dollar business that profits. See, people have to politicize, right? I can take advantage. That's what the president does. And Rahm Emanuel, the mayor of Chicago, remember? Don't let a crisis go to waste. The NCAA is a billion-dollar business that profits off the free labor and inevitable injuries of our children, and we let it happen. First of all, they're not children. They're grown men when they're in fucking college. Learn the difference. And no other country in the world puts sports on such a pedestal. And I guess you haven't watched soccer riots in Europe above education like we do. It's disgusting and embarrassing and horrible for the families who are changed forever by a goddamned game. You're not a fucking high school football coach. You're a lying sack of shit. That's a judgment call, and I just made it. And if I'm wrong, whoop-de-doo. It's shocking how many... So I guess we should stop. So let's not talk about the positives, how it creates character and grows leaders, and more people have gone on to do great shit because of sports, men and women, by the way, and they'll tell you that. It's just unbelievable. People who hated couldn't play, and they hated jocks. I guarantee it. The poor kid has been fed a lie for his entire life that maybe he'll make it to the NFL. How do you know that? Who said that? I didn't think I was going to the NFL when I started playing football, especially in high school. I realized it when I ran that 4.6 flat 40. Not exactly, not bad for a white fella, but, you know. You know what I'm saying? How about the kid was doing what he loved? Huh? You think it added anything positive to his life? Everybody loved the kid. It's a freak accident. They think it might have been a heart attack. They might have the results later today, I guess, before, I'll be off the air by then. But I'm just saying, it's just amazing to me. You read the comments when you go on the internet, how just ignorant people are. Just, ugh.
Fucking smash his fucking face in.
Yeah, I'm talking about the so-called Texas football coach. It's just hard to believe, you know. Yeah, so, just a horrible thing. Horrible thing. But there's risks, There's risks in life. And the odds of that happening, like I said, are just ridiculous. Let's by the way, for you people who want to get rid of football, let's get rid of tubs too, because what is it, every 20 seconds somebody dies in a tub or something like that, or every minute? Let's get rid of those. Let's just be a big smelly nation of people who don't shower, people who don't take baths, because people slip and fall in the tubs very, very often. Let's get rid of cars too, because people are killed by cars every day in this country. Let's get rid of the cars. Let's be stinky, smelly people who walk on fucking foot, and play video games. That's the country you want, right? Motherless assholes. Let's get rid of football. That's a real deep thought process. A kid died. It's gotta be bad. You're fucking crazy. They're gonna start putting warnings on football helmets like they do cigarette packs. That's where we're headed. How about soccer, right? Remember? That was a report a few years ago that soccer balls causes more concussions than football. What happened to that? That story went away in a hurry. Oh, it didn't fit the fucking faggy agenda. That's right. Anyways, popular kid, too. Naturally. Student athlete, great student. Just really popular. But, too bad. Horrible to hear. And on the, since I'm doing the sad part of the show, Mary Catherine Ham. She's a conservative who's on Fox a lot of the times. I had the pleasure of meeting her when I did Red Eye. Just the nicest woman you ever want to meet. And her husband last weekend is riding in a charity race to cure cancer for a guy he knows and gets hit and killed by a car. So, I mean, let's get rid of charity race. Let's get rid of cancer. That would be a good idea. Actually, then that wouldn't have happened. I mean that seriously. Let's get rid of cancer. I'm saying that literally. But I'm just saying, it just there's no guarantees in life. Horrible. She's a nice woman, Catherine Ham, and very smart, and it was a pleasure meeting her, and my heart goes out to her. And she's pregnant with her second kid right now, doing like a couple months. I think she has a daughter. She has another child, and I mean, what the hell? That really bummed me out. That one put a real lump in my throat. Both of them, obviously. I'm getting like Boehner. I tear up easy now. You know? If I see a dog food commercial with a little bit of sentimentality and I get a lump in the throat, I guess it happens as you get older because you realize no guarantees. The only guarantee is I'll be getting on a plane somewhere to tell dick jokes to drunks. It's the only thing, and that's not even a guarantee, let's be honest. In other politically correct news, how about Polk County, Georgia? Some kid shows up at high school, Rockmart High School, Polk County, 10th grade kid, arrived with a Confederate battle flag attached to his backpack. Oh, no! Oh, Jesus H. Christ. He's dropped off, and they interviewed the principal. He got dropped off out of his truck. Notice I have to put truck in there to let you know. And came down the sidewalk just like any other student. That's Wesley Cupp, the president. I don't know what his color is. I'm going to look it up. He said the sophomore, who was white, then walked through the cafeteria before he started onto the courtyard with a Confederate battle flag strapped to his backpack. That's where he was confronted by two African-American students. They wanted to confront him about what he had in his backpack. What did they say? Hey, man, why are you doing that? Again, this is the principal's. I'm going to take his word for it. Principal Cupp also said shoving and exchange of words among the students started and was broken up immediately by staff after a few minutes. No weapons were found. But later in the morning, here's where the story gets interesting. The school was put through a lockdown drill with students kept in class after rumors of other students bringing Confederate battle flags surfaced. See, do you see what the fucking lib media has done in this country? Do you see it? Do you fucking believe it? I got news for you, folks. I'm not a big fan of that flag either, but you know what? It's still legal. You should be able to go to high school in a three-piece Confederate fucking suit and top hat, okay? And if you got a problem with that, go to the authorities or go to the principals if it bothers you. But no, they want to get right in the fucking kid's face. Somebody needs a lesson in history. Sounds like the two African-American kids. Introduce him to the Constitution. I'm sure if a kid wore a Black Lives Matter T-shirt and it bothered a few white kids, and the white kids confronted, I'm sure that they would have, the same result, right? So all three of the kids were sent home, apparently. And don't give me this shit. It's about distracting other student. Because I saw shit that distracted me all the time in high school. How about every time a girl was I see they have T-shirts for like 6-year-old girls that say "boys suck on them." I mean, give me a fucking break. But of course, here's one of these students' parents. I think the principal handled it the right way. I don't want to give him no backlash because it'd be different if he said, just the white kid go home and not the black kid or vice versa. See, so according to this parent, that's what makes it right, what the teacher did. Do you see how this is a parent of the student? So he has no fucking clue on right and wrong and the Constitution and freedom of speech. Long as everybody got punished, that's a good thing. But somebody else, another parent, sort of had more of my take on it, and said that the students that were offended should have done something else and not confronted the kid. Yeah, I'd love to know what the two black kids said to the white kid. I'm sure it was, "Excuse me, what are you doing there? You're offending my sensibilities as an African American." I'm sure it went down like that, right? Come on. Get this now. Principal Cupp said when the 3 students involved return to the school, they'll be offered counseling and other services to help ease tensions. What the fuck have we done to our nation? Offered counseling because they got in a little bit of a shoving match over something that, again, if we were in our right minds, wouldn't have been an issue in the first place. And yes, I'm not forgetting about South Carolina and all that shit, but that doesn't mean every time you see a fucking flag, you have to lock down wherever you are. Unbelievable. There's a lot of shooting at hip-hop concerts, so every time I see a Jay-Z hat or T-shirt, we should fucking lock it down. Lock down the arena. I saw a kid at a Knicks game with a Jay-Z T-shirt. Give me a fucking break. There is no right in the Constitution. People actually think they have a right not to be offended. I got into it with a woman after a show at the Stand a year and a half ago. Some hateful lesbian, with those glasses that signify I hate men. Fucking, you just do material to make people feel uncomfortable. I have a right to. She goes, I have a right to come here and enjoy myself and not have you fucking. No, you don't. Actually, you don't. No, you fucking don't. You don't have a right not to be offended. Get that through your fucking head. Jesus H. Christ.
Fucking smash his fucking face in.
Why is everyone so fucking stupid?
Liberalism?
Why aren't more people intelligent?
Liberalism? Again, these are far left kooks. I'm not talking about everybody that, but it's getting that way. Almost everybody. Ooh, I'm gonna have to have a bite of the. I'm gonna have to get some more edible cannabis to calm down after this show. What else? Let's cross that one off. And other news from genius fucking liberal new age psychology ideas that are considered progressive. Local school district bans the game of tag over emotional well-being of students. Exactly.
Thank you.
Fucking A. And again, I'll say it again. But when I read a headline like this, I go, let me guess, the principal or the teachers involved are probably female, I'm guessing. And again, I know not all broads like that because I married one who isn't. She's more insensitive than I am. But I'm just saying, political correctness is born out of sensitivity, which really isn't a male trait, unless you're Caitlin. Where the hell, what town is this? Not that it matters. All you need to know is happening in this country. Kids on Mercer Island. MyNorthwest.com. So, yeah, they can't play tag. Administrators ban the game of tag. Out of well-being for the emotional well-being for the kids. The school district's communications director, Macy Grade. That's her name, Macy Grade, Grade. I'm guessing it's a woman. In an email, said the rationale behind the ban is to ensure the physical and emotional safety of all students. Now, there should be more questions in the article going, now how did you come up with that? Tell us how, explain your fucking logic behind that. Is there any reason? They also address physical safety, wanting kids to keep their hands to themselves. Do you fucking believe? This is one of the reasons they get rid of tag. What's so funny is all these stories are starting to blend into me. When I read it the first couple times and I put it aside and I went back to it, I went, oh my God, I thought they were talking about dodgeball. It's actually tag. Dodgeball, that's considered like throwing. You might as well have IEDs in the gym. Fucking tag. I like to tag this lady in the head with my fucking nutsack. Macy Grade. The school promotes competitive sports, though, like football. That makes sense, right? Tag could fuck somebody up emotionally. What is that? I guess that little boys and girls would play together and they wouldn't want, any touching, because that's the goal. What the fuck? I just can't even, I don't even know where to begin. I never played tag as a kid, do you? We played push. Forearm shiver. We played kill the guy with a ball. We played bomb squad. You guys know what that is? We called it bomb squad. I would invite, like, if, you know, all 12 guys in the neighborhood come over and would put one kid at the end of the my yard and would kick off to him. And you try to return a kickoff with 11 other guys trying to rip your head off. With no blocking. No pushing the back on that fucking... You just try to return a kick against 11 guys. Called a bomb squad. We used to do it in the snow, and it was fun. You'd push a kid out of bounds on an icy sidewalk, and he'd slide right into a fire hydrant. That happened once. But I don't even understand what that means, that you're protecting their emotion from being traumatized emotionally by a game of tag. I don't get it. How that would affect you emotionally. I mean, you're tagging the person on the back or the arm or the ass. You're not fisting the kid. I don't fucking. What do you? Instead of tagging him, you're jacking him off. I don't. Seriously, I don't understand. Somebody explain it to me. How that could be emotionally traumatizing. Tagging somebody, saying you're it. Is that the part that maybe fucks them up? That when you go you're it makes them it isolates them for the rest of the kids. Ooh, I'm it. I don't even get it. I can't even fucking... I can't...
I'm gonna fucking smash his fucking face in.
Help me to help you. So no tag in that county. Wonder why kids are smoking weed in the fucking woods 2 p.m. I told you that I go running or walking through this nice lake near my house in the woods. It's a reserve, and it's one of my favorite places on earth. I actually might have... I want to be buried there, on my ashes or whatever was left of me after my wife kills me. Throw my arm over there behind a bush and my ass behind a maple tree. But that's where I want to be buried. But I walked through there like in the middle of the afternoon last week, like a beautiful day, like a Wednesday afternoon. And here comes a kid by himself, right? Couldn't be more 16, 17. I smell weed. I smell it coming at me. He's got a pipe by himself, walking through the woods, fucking smoking weed. And then a week prior to that, I came upon 2 kids, and they kept looking over their shoulders. And I said, relax. I'm not fucking 5-0, which that hip lingo was lost on them completely. But it's a beautiful day. And they're in the woods. They have to get fucked up. I guess I drank beer in the woods, but it was usually at night, and it was 11 degrees on a Friday. And there was nothing else to do. But, yeah, the hooch. Glad they didn't give me some. I would have fucking dove into the lake. Try to drown myself. The hell was I talking about? I don't know. I'm lobing it. So, that's it. Me on drugs, governors. Let me get some plugs in here. I got to work out after this. I got to do shanties. You got to stay focused. You got to stay within yourself. You got to eat a pot brownie and try to get out your own head. You're going to take the left foot, bring it over to the right. I used to have a clip of him, didn't I? What did I do with it? I really do have to get a goddamn, you know what? Where's my shanty clip? I probably threw it out. Dates, real quick. October 3rd, if you're in the D.C. area, I'm doing something called Unite to Face Addiction. Greg Giraldo's wife contacted me about this. Tom Papa's on the bill. Billy Burr, a few others. That's Saturday, October 3rd. I think it's the Time Warner Theater in D.C. So if you're around. Gramercy Theater. This is the one, folks, I need you to come out to. Please, if you can do anything. Gramercy Theater, New York City, Saturday, October 17th. Dan Soder, my boy Dan Soder, who has the radio show with Big J, Bonfire on Sirius. October 17th, Gramercy Theater. Come out and see me then. Could you please? And I got a few more things in October. Sports Haven in New Haven on the 24th. It's a Saturday night. New Haven, Connecticut. Doing a fundraiser in Canada. You don't need to know about that. Doing something for the cops on the 23rd. Magoobies, November 5, 6, and 7. That's in Timonium, Maryland. Timonium, Maryland. And November 12, 13, and 14, Jacksonville, Florida. The Comedy Club of Jacksonville, Florida is the name of the club. All right, kiddies? Suffolk Theater, by the way. Oh, I forgot that one. On the 28th of November, Suffolk Theater, Riverhead, New York. That's a Saturday night. Love that place. Love it. Lockup did a whole thing on the prison out there, the jail out there in Riverhead. Fucking loved it. Saw a few of the people that I'll see at the show, I'm sure. That's it, kids. I think that's all I got for you. Am I forgetting anything? Seems like I pulled a shitload of... You know what I did? I accidentally erased a whole bunch of clips on my soundboard. Oh, you're probably happy about that. Anyways, it's Nick DiPaolo signing off. I'll talk to you real soon. Oh, sports-wise, I know I forgot something. I don't know what to report. The Mets clinched. Congratulations, Mets fans. Kind of like to see that. I like to see the Mets and the Blue Jays. You know, you got the Mets with a great pitching staff, and the Blue Jays, they have that offense. It's like a high arc softball team. These guys hit fucking homers like they're nothing. That'll be a nice matchup. That's what I'd like to see. Mike Trout made a catch this past week, maybe one of the best ever. Climbed up the fence, waited for it, almost like the Japanese guy did. It was a Japanese guy like 20 years ago that actually climbed the fence, got on the top of it, and waited for the ball to come. Trout pulled like a minor version of that. As good a catch as you'll ever see. And my Red Sox are a lot better than they were at the beginning, but they still stink. But they're going to be something next year. Trust me. A lot of fucking talent on it. If they get any pitching, they're going to be scary. But yeah, I'm hoping for a Mets Toronto thing. College football, I watched a million games. They all blended in. I can't even tell you who won. I think that weed wiped out my memory. But I'll talk to you real soon, kids.